going to go through some scriptures on the feasts, God's holy feasts, and why it is that we shouldn't be doing them right now, because we're in captivity. We're not in our inheritance. We're not in Jerusalem or New Jerusalem. And people don't seem to think that we're in captivity. And people seem to think that you can do the feasts however and whenever you want. And that's what God's looking for. God knows our hearts. It's much like how the Christians see sin. They just take it as a light thing. But the reason why it's so important is because in Hosea 8:11-14, we see that those who do the feasts in captivity and lay this stumbling block are going to go back into Egypt, which is talking about Great Tribulation. They're going to go into hard bondage again. And those who lead into captivity, who are teaching the feasts in captivity, are going to go into Great Tribulation. So it is an important thing. Because when people in the Torah movement wake up to keeping the 10 Commandments and eating clean, the Holy Covenants, you naturally think, oh, well, we need to do the feasts as well. But God's full instruction says, don't do the feasts outside of the land. He's going to take them away from us. It's a punishment. We're not supposed to be feasting right now. This is a time for lamentation, mourning and woe. We're supposed to be shouting repentance. And it's no coincidence that the Torah movement are focusing on these feasts, doing these feasts on a profane day. They don't know the calendar. They're saying, oh, well, God knows our heart. We have to just try. And that's not what God's saying. But they don't want to listen because they covet that feast day. And in Hosea 8:11-14 again, it says, because Ephraim, namely America, because Ephraim has made many altars to sin, Christmas, Easter, all these things, because they've done these pagan feasts, altars are going to be unto him to sin. So they're going to jump out of the frying pan into the fire, so to speak. And that's exactly what we're seeing now. So I'm going to try and just go through as many scriptures I can get done until my son wakes up, starting in Deuteronomy 12. So Deuteronomy means second instruction. That's actually what it means by definition. And the reason why that's important is because going forward, this is their instructions for when they get their inheritance, but they're not there yet. And that's much like us now. Like, just imagine, like, we're in Egypt about to go and get our inheritance. Like, we're not doing, this isn't to be done. God hasn't chose where he's put his name yet. Of course, we know that it is Jerusalem, but here, he hasn't chosen the place where he puts his name yet, or they don't know. So as always, this is a teaching for women. I'm never trying to teach men, and I'll put it in the description as well. So I'm right against the radiator. Deuteronomy 12. I'll just do verse 1. These are the statutes and judgments which you shall observe to do in the land which the Lord God of thy fathers has give thee to possess it, all the days that ye live upon the earth. So these are the statutes and judgments that you are to do when God gives you your inheritance. I'm going to go down to verse 8. You shall not do after all the things that we do here this day, even every man whatsoever is right in his own eyes. So don't do what is right in your own eyes. Don't do it on a day. Don't be presumptuous about God's instruction. There's too much stuff here. Don't be presumptuous about God's instruction. He's very specific in the fine print of how he wants things to be done, and he's looking for listening ears. Oh, sorry, I'm fidgeting. Did not get comfortable. He's looking for listening ears. So if you want to hear God says do the feast forever, those aren't listening ears. If you've got someone telling you, yes, they're forever, when you're in your inheritance, they're the listening ears. That's someone who's circumcised their ears. Because it's like, yes, this is forever, but oh wait, look, there's more. But the reason why they want to do the feasts is because of covetousness. They can't kick the 10th commandment. Their hearts go after their covetousness. They love the feasts. And they bless themselves. They find out we need to keep the 10 commandments. and they just bless themselves, they count themselves in that number, and they don't care about other people's salvation. This is all the way through prophecy. They wake up, they've been given freely by the Messiah, and they don't pay it forward, and instead they bless themselves and do these feasts incorrectly, thinking, oh, we're God's chosen people. And it's like, no, God's chosen people are the ones that are lamenting right now because the world's about to be destroyed, and they want as many people as possible to be saved, but then they also know that they're not going to listen. Verse 9, for you are not as yet come to the rest and to the inheritance which the Lord your God gives you. But when you go over Jordan and dwell in the land which God gives you to inherit, and when he gives you rest from all your enemies round about, so that you dwell in safely, then there shall be a place which the Lord your God shall cause his name to dwell there. There you shall bring all that I command you, your burnt offerings and your sacrifices, your tithes and your heave offering and your hand, and all your choice vows which you vow to the Lord. So there you go, you get the point. There's a place where God chooses to put his name out of all the tribes. It's that holy city, and that's where these feasts are to be done. And then if you flip over to Deuteronomy 16, even more specifically, he actually tells you that these feasts are to be done only in this city. Observe the month of Abib, and keep the Passover unto the Lord thy God, for in the month of Abib the Lord thy God brought thee out of Egypt by night. So this is talking about Passover. If you go down to verse 5, you may not sacrifice the Passover within any of your gates, which the Lord thy God gives thee, but at the place which the Lord thy God shall choose to place his name, there you shalt sacrifice the Passover. Very specific. And then verse 16. Yep. 3 times in a year shall all your males appear before the Lord thy God in the place which he shall choose, in the feast of unleavened bread, and in the feast of weeks, and in the feast of tabernacles, and they shall not appear before the Lord empty. There you go. So 3 times a year you'll do these feasts in the place which he shall choose. Did he choose America? Nope. Did he choose England? Nope. But you've just got to have listening ears for these things. Oh yeah, I butchered Isaiah last time. I'll try and do this again. So, going from Isaiah 1. I'll just go from verse 10 to make sure I catch it this time. Hear the word of the Lord, ye rulers of Sodom. Give ear unto the law of our God, ye people of Gomorrah. To what purpose is the multitude of your sacrifices unto me, saith the Lord? I am full of the burnt offerings of rams and the fat of fed beasts, and I delight not in the blood of bullocks, or of lambs, or of he-goats. When you come to appear before me, who has required this at your hand to tread my courts? Bring no more vain oblations. Incense is an abomination unto me. The new moons and Sabbaths, the calling of assemblies, I cannot away with. It is iniquity, even the solemn meeting. Your new moons and your appointed feasts my soul hates. They are a trouble unto me. I am weary to bear them. And when you spread forth your hands, I will hide my eyes from you. Yea, when you make many prayers, I will not hear, and your hands are full of blood. Wash you, make you clean. Put away the evil of your doings from before my eyes. Cease to do evil. And then it tells them to judge righteous judgment. So he's saying, stop doing these feasts presumptuously. That's not what my law says. I've wrote you fine print that tells you, don't do them in captivity. I've taken away the calendar. I've taken them away as punishment. Even in Zephaniah 3:18, it says that the ones that will be saved, the feast, the solemn meeting is even a reproach to them. And then if you go to Ezekiel 44, from like verse 23 onwards, you're going to see that the true servants are the ones teaching the difference between the profane and the holy, and the clean and the unclean. And then when you go to Ezekiel 22, which I'm hoping we're going to do this, Ezekiel 22, 23 and onwards, it's like this reflection. It's like a mirror image. So Ezekiel 44, you've got the good servants, and then Ezekiel 22, you've got the evil servants. And it says that they don't make difference between the profane and the holy. They're making, and then if you go to, I can't do it right now because obviously I don't have it like in physical form. Jubilees 6, the calendar is going to be removed, and they're going to declare a profane day a holy day. They're going to say like, this is the feast day, but God took away the calendar. We can't do it, and we shouldn't be doing it anyway because we're not in the land. So yeah. And then Isaiah 66 is quoting itself from Isaiah 1. And I tried to do this last time and I absolutely butchered it because I couldn't say it. Because I think it's close at the beginning of the chapter. So I'll go from the start. Yep. Thus saith the Lord, the heaven is my throne and the earth is my footstool. Where is the house that you built to me, and where is the place of my rest? For all those things has my hand made, and all those things have been made, saith the Lord. But to this man will I look, even to him that is poor and contrite, is poor and of a contrite spirit, and trembles at my word, the circumcised heart and ears, the listening ears. It's like, yes, if you want to do the feasts, we should want to do the feasts. We should love the feasts. They are like important. Like if you want to study them, like okay, that's fine because they are very prophetic. But if you truly love God and love His word, and you tremble at His word, you won't do the feasts in captivity because that's what His word says. Yeah. But to this man will I look, even to him that is poor and of a contrite spirit, and trembles at my word. All that fine print. He that kills an ox is as if he slew a man. He that sacrificeth a lamb, as if he cut off a dog's neck. He that offers an oblation, as if he offered swine's blood. He that burns incense, as if he blessed an idol. Yea, they have chosen their own ways, and their soul delights in their abominations. Oh my goodness. And their soul delights in their abominations. He was saying that these solemn feasts that you're doing, He doesn't accept them. They're an abomination to Him. Because you're not listening. Your heart isn't right. You're not listening to His word. You don't tremble at His word. And then I also will choose their delusions and will bring their fears upon them. Because when I called, none did answer. And when I spake, they did not hear. But they did evil before my eyes and chose that in which I delighted not. He delights in righteous judgment. He delights in you trying to find the lost sheep. He delights in you warning people of the destruction coming, to show that you actually love God and your neighbour. That's what that means. But they won't. Because they want their covetous ways. Because they like the feast days, they like to feast. And those that are feasting now, they're going to mourn very soon. And those that mourn now are going to feast forever. Where should I go next? Should we do Ezekiel 22? Oh, and at the end of Isaiah 66, actually, I have to do this. So at the end, when the restoration of all things, this is when we'll do the feasts. And the pure language will be restored, the calendar will be restored, and like all will be well again. So don't be presumptuous and do them now. Do the work now, and we'll feast later. So Isaiah 66 verse 22. For as the new heavens and the new earth which I will make saith, shall remain before me, saith the Lord, so shall your seed and your name remain. And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith the Lord. And they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses of the men that have transgressed against me. For their worm shall not die, neither shall their fire be quenched, and they shall be an abhorring to all flesh. So that's when the kingdom is come and everything is restored, and we're able to worship in spirit and truth all together, and call upon the name of the Lord in one accord, and we'll have the pure language, and we'll be doing the feasts. And then those who didn't listen or wouldn't repent, those in the kingdom are going to be looking down on those in hell, burning for eternity, and they're going to be an abhorrent all flesh. Just why not repent? The amount of women I talk to that actually just, like, you're just asking to go there, like, you don't. They lie about what God said shamelessly. It's terrible. Ezekiel 22:23. I'm literally burning up against this radiator. It's right there. Oh my goodness. Ezekiel 22, verse 23. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, say unto her, that bloody city, Thou art the land that is not cleansed, nor rain upon in the day of indignation. There is a conspiracy of her prophets in the midst thereof, like a roaring lion ravening the prey. They have devoured souls. They have taken the treasure and precious things. They have made many her widows in the midst thereof. Her priests have violated my law, instruction, full instruction. They've violated what his law says. And Hosea 8 says, I've written to them the amazing things in my law, these great things in my law, Deuteronomy 12 and 16 that we've just read. In the place where I choose to put my name, he says it over and over and over again. He wants you to listen. That's the thing. It's not about how smart we are. This is about circumcising your heart to want his truth no matter what. So if you just do that and then read the chapter that I've just said or read along with me, he's the one that's going to reveal it to you. So all you need to do is just actually genuinely care about what he wants. So her priests have violated my law and have profaned my holy things. What are his holy things? His holy days. They've profaned them. They've called them where the holy day would be. They're profaning it and saying it's not the holy day because we can't know, because we don't have the calendar. And then on a profane day that is not holy, they're declaring it a holy day. And that's the causing of strife in the Torah movement. They don't know what they're doing. They have put no difference between the holy and profane. Neither have they showed difference between the unclean and the clean, and have hid their eyes from my Sabbaths, and I am profaned among them. And then if you go to Ezekiel 44, this is the mirror image. I don't know if that's the right, because wouldn't that mean it's the same? It's like the opposite. Like the good and evil servants. Ezekiel 44 verses 23 and onwards. And they shall teach my people the difference. And they shall teach my people the difference between the holy and profane, and cause them to discern between the unclean and the clean. And in controversy they shall stand in judgment, and they shall judge it according to my judgments. And they shall keep my laws and my statutes in all of my assemblies, and they shall hallow my Sabbaths. And they shall come at no dead person to defile themselves, which goes on. But that's so clear. Then you've got in Daniel 10 verses 1 to 4. You go and read it. Daniel fasts over the Passover. So if it's like he was also in captivity, we're supposed to learn from that. We're supposed to think Daniel sort of represents us in this time. And if you look at the date that it says that he fasts, it would have been Passover. So was Daniel in sin? No, he just knew the law. I do Hosea 8. I've done it. I think I've done that one in like every video, but it's because it's like it actually blew my mind when my brother taught me that. I don't know where it is. Hosea 8. Because Ephraim has made many altars to sin, altars shall be made unto him to sin. So because Ephraim has done Christmas and Easter and made these altars to sin, altars shall be unto him to sin. I have written to him the great things of my law in Deuteronomy 12 and 16, but they were counted as a strange thing. The feasts are forever. This is strange. Why are you teaching against the feasts? You've just read why we're teaching against the feasts, and it's not that we're even against them. We're for them. We just want to do them properly. We're waiting. We're waiting on the Lord. They sacrifice flesh for the sacrifices of mine offerings. The amount of women, again, I've just heard people in general actually say that this is talking about Christmas and Easter, because the Torah movement are like, oh, we don't do Christmas and Easter, like we're good with the Lord. It's like, yeah, but then you've just went to the right. Don't go to the left or to the right. Keep your foot from evil. I forgot where it says that in Proverbs. But Ezekiel, lie on your left side for Israel and on your right side for Judah. It's the traditions of men. It's the thing that the Messiah hates. Stop being presumptuous. Stop listening to the traditions of the Jews. You're supposed to rebuke them sharply. Both sides, both traditions. They sacrifice flesh for the sacrifices of mine offerings. He's saying, you're doing my offerings, my feasts, and eat it, but the Lord accepts them not. Why wouldn't he accept them? Because of what we've just read. He told you in his law. He wrote these great things. There's fine print in his law and you won't listen to it because you're covetous. So those who do this, now will he remember their iniquity and visit their sins. They shall return to Egypt. Do you want to go into Egypt? Do you want to go into Great Tribulation? Do you want to lead other people there who are going to be mad at you for leading them there? Well, I should hope not. Lamentations 2:6. Well, it's just there. Today's a good day. Lamentations 2 from verse 6. And he hath violently taken away his tabernacle, as if it were of a garden. He has destroyed his places of the assembly. The Lord has caused the solemn feasts and Sabbaths to be forgotten in Zion. He did it. This is his will. He took them away, and he will restore them, much like the pure language. And what are people doing? They're waking up to the 10 Commandments, starting to do these feasts and put these burdens on people. Oh no, we need to do the feast. We need to, they're on this day, they're on that day. You need to call them Yahuwah. That we need to learn Paleo Hebrew to better understand the extra. Stop being covetous. Stop being pretentious. Keep the holy covenants of promise. Listen, and he will show you everything, because it's not of yourself. You're not intelligent. Well, you might be intelligent according to the world, but God will condemn you with even idiots like me. Yeah, Jubilee 6 is a good one. I just don't have it handy. Jubilee 6. I would go to Daniel 10. There's a few times in Acts as well where Paul has to return to Jerusalem to do Passover. Well, maybe Romans 14. We'll go to that because people use that. Well, it's the Christians that use that, isn't it? Romans 14 from verse 5. One man esteems one day above another. Another esteems... Wait, immediately botching this. One man esteems one day above another. Another esteems every day alike. Let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind. He that regards the day regards it to the Lord, and he that regards not the day to the Lord he does not regard it. There we go. So, right, So the conditions for doing the feast, being in Jerusalem and on the right calendar at the specific time. So Paul was able to do that because he will have known the right day and he was returning to Jerusalem to do it. So we don't judge people for doing that. If they can do it. Now the calendar is absolutely shot. Even the people in Jerusalem aren't even using the right calendar. They're using the Hillel calendar, which isn't the right calendar. So you don't rebuke someone for doing the feast correctly as God commanded. But we're not saying that now, which is why there's, where did we just read that it said it's going to be controversial to rebuke people for doing the feast? I forgot where that was, but we've just read it. That's why it is so controversial. It's like a strange thing to people. They're like, what? So are you telling us to be lawless? And it's like, no, we teach the 10 Commandments. We teach the Rainbow Covenant. Just don't do the feast. They're like, oh. They don't even know what to do with it because they don't want to listen and they just want their own traditions. Or they've joined a messianic congregation and they've just returned to the drunkards of Ephraim and gone back to the ways of the Christian church. So yeah, Paul's saying don't judge someone if they're doing the feast correctly. But then there's going to be people, because Paul knew the times that we will be living in. But he that regards not the day, there's going to be some people not doing the feast unto the Lord because they hear the full instruction. So like, when I read Deuteronomy 12 and 16, I was like, oh, okay, Lord, I'm not going to do the feasts for you because that's what you want. That's what Paul's saying. Colossians 2:16, I guess, is a similar thing that Paul's saying. I haven't read these ones in a while. But if I can find it, I will do it. I have a feeling I'm not going to do it. I'm really burning up against this radiator. I can't find Colossians for the life. Yep. These videos, there's so many different scriptures, and then like when you can't find one, it's just rustling for like 10 minutes. Where's Colossians? Oh, here we go. Colossians 2:16. Let no man judge you, therefore, in meat or drink. So that's food or drink, Christians. Pork is not food. Or in respect of a holy day, or of the new moon, or of the Sabbath days. I totally botched that. Let no man therefore judge you in meat or drink, or in respect of a holy day, or of the new moon, or of the Sabbath days, which are a shadow of the things to come, but the body is of the Messiah. So yeah. Right now, we shouldn't be doing the feasts unto the Lord. Now is not the time for them. The lost sheep are in captivity. The lost sheep are scattered abroad. And they will be gathered by the elect. The second Exodus will happen, which is why Deuteronomy 12 and 16, this is the great things in his law that we should be listening to. Because it's this, what happened once will happen again. There's nothing new under the sun. So that second instruction, saying going forward, this is the instruction with these beautiful details in them. Like God's people are about to be gathered by his holy angels, and they're about to be gathered, kept and nourished, and then the second Exodus, it's going to be even greater than the first Exodus. So don't do the feast. Now's not the time for them. And you should be rebuking people that are doing them. Women rebuke women, men rebuke men and women. Yep, that's all I've got to say.